How's it going, everyone? I want to show off this build. It's been going around the internet and it's quite powerful. It's still early, so everyone's kind of tweaking it in different ways. I'm not sure where it originally came from, but it is quite powerful. And you can start using it pretty early in the game and it just gets stronger and stronger over time. Now mine is obviously not perfect. I haven't really watched too many videos. I just saw someone doing it and I didn't really see how they were doing it, and I kind of just made it up my own way. So I'll show you guys what I got going on. So we should probably first start talking about the skills and how to utilize them properly. It might sound a little complicated, but it's really not. And you don't even have to do it properly the entire time. I rarely do it properly. And it has changed a bit because a lot of people were trying to get frenzy stacks by freezing people, which is fine. If you want to do that, you can. But they added Call of the Week, so I am using that to get my frenzy stacks, and I don't always have frenzy stacks. Alright, let's start with the skills. So starting off, your main ability is Twister. As you can see on my bar at the bottom right, I have 3 active skills, and then my auto attack is basically Call of the Week, which I rarely use. And then I have Tame Beast always on, just so I can tame beasts if I see a cool one I want, which we'll talk about the beasts a little later on. So our main move is Twister. That's where we're getting all our damage. You're essentially just throwing out twisters, like, see that? Just twisters. But there's a lot more to it because you can buff these twisters. Because right now they look pretty weak. You're throwing them in random directions. There's only a couple of them. So the first ability that supports it is Whirling Slash. This is going to allow, this is kind of a movement feature, so you can use Whirling Slash like this and it puts down 1, and when you throw a tornado out of it, it makes the tornadoes a little stronger. Also, you can stack Whirling Slash to 3 times, but if you exit the radius, it'll explode and it'll be gone. So you just got to watch out for that, which it's fine. If you do, you can just reproc it. It feels really slow early game, so you want some attack speed built in, but you can just keep doing this. You can get to the edge of it and it won't explode, and then you can do this. So you can just keep it going as long as you want, or make a new one. But if you get it to ×3 and then you throw out your nados, they're gonna be a lot stronger. And that's pretty much Whirling Slash. You wanna be using it to engage fights, and if enemies are in it, and they'll get blinded, which is nice. You can also use it as an extra movement, so you have your roll, but if you Whirl Slash and cancel and roll, you can get like a little bit more of a roll going, so you can be a little faster. But our next ability is Barrage. This has a little bit longer of a cooldown, but your screen's going to be covered in nados, so you won't be able to see anything anyway, and you only kind of spam your nados every once in a while. So Barrage is going to empower your next attack, and it's going to repeat it, which means you're just going to be throwing out more nados. So here's Barrage by itself with just the nados. You throw out a lot more nados. Now if you use Barrage with ×3 on your Whirling Slash, boom, you got a lot of empowered nados, and that's kind of the lazy combo. You can literally just get by doing that. You don't really need much else. Now there are other things that will buff this. First of all, if you can somehow get an element on the ground, there's like the in-game ones like Scorched Earth, you know, you can drop a you can drop a Whirling Slash on that and it'll turn into fire or electric or ice, whatever element. I'll just go show you guys real quick. Let me show you. So I have this guy here for a reason. We'll talk about beasts in a minute. But he basically charges up and puts a AoE fireball down, and I use that to empower my NATOs to be fire. So watch this thing, we'll put that on the ground. Now if I get this in it, see how my NATOs are fire now they'll be stronger when they come out and I'll shoot out fire. So that's another thing you can do with that, which is nice. So you can add an element to it. And then the last thing is if you can get frenzy charges, it's gonna buff barrage. Well, let's take a look. It's kind of at the bottom, I think. See, frenzy charge consumed, repeats, deal 50% less damage. So it's gonna let you shoot out even more tornadoes based on how many charges you can get. Which you can get charges a couple different ways. Some people are using the frenzy one, where if you like pin someone or freeze them, then you'll get a charge. They just release Call of the Weak, so if you get an enemy low health, you can... Okay, I gotta get someone low health though. Oh, those guys are... Oh, they're blue. Okay, so I'm spamming it, but typically if you find someone low health, you can just go up. And I have 3 frenzy charges, which that's max. So now if we do a full combo, we have fire, we have frenzy charges, we have barrage, and boom. Whole screen of fire NATOs just kills everything. Okay, it's pretty crazy, not gonna lie. Your computer might not be able to handle it. You might need to lower your settings. Alright, let's talk a little bit about our gem sockets, our supports. Now in the twister, I mean, you only start off with 2, so I would recommend just utilizing persistence because it'll make the NATOs last longer, and then acceleration's good because it'll make the projectiles have more speed, so they'll just be bouncing around more. Once you start unlocking more sockets, you want to add salvo. It's a higher tier support gem, so you won't get it till later on. It fires more projectiles, but they go in a random direction around you, and sometimes it kind of, if it's like an open map, it kind of screws you sometimes. But on closed maps, it doesn't matter because the NATOs just bounce around everywhere anyway. And then I'm currently using long shot, which is going to do 30% more damage when enemies are further away from me. So this one still I'm experimenting a little bit on. For our whirling slash, having that attack speed, you want martial tempo for sure. The attack speed just makes this feel way faster. You can also buff it in your skill tree to make it faster, but it feels real slow if you don't have it. You can also add things like knockback, arm's length, if you're a little more up close and personal, like when I get inside of a group, the arm's length will knock them back when I'm doing this. So it'll knock them back so I can prepare and launch my NATOs. But you don't really need that one if you're playing more passive anyway. And also, we can use rage, so you get more damage, just free damage you can utilize. For barrage, 2-fold's really good. It sometimes allows you to double your charges whenever you utilize a charge in the barrage ability. There's a 20% chance that it'll be doubled, which is pretty crazy when that happens. Also, I like using this one, perpetual charge, because there's a 35% chance that you might not use your charges when you do use them, so just free charges. Redemption's pretty good. It empowers the skill by 15 more damage, or 15% more damage. Call of the Weak, I have perfusion. Support skills have 50% chance to grant additional charges, so that with 2-fold is pretty nice. Once you start getting charges, you typically will have them. I'm also using Ancestral Call, which support strike skills are ancestrally boosted once every 6 seconds. So this will allow, if we use it once every 6 seconds, you can strike additional enemies, because it's kind of random what enemy you'll strike, because it is Like you can see it's a close range from here, but when an enemy's nearby, you'll lunge to them. And then I just have this because if I can get the behead, it's kind of funny. It's kind of fun to like test around with, but when you kill a rare monster and it has a modifier, you have a chance of stealing that modifier for 20 seconds. So if they get low, I just try to call them. And that's pretty much it. I don't use the spear. I don't know why I have that in it. Besides your companion, I always try to have a tame beast on me, so if I come across something really good, I can tame it. But I'm using this guy. You can use whatever you want. I like making him really tanky, so I'm giving him that elemental resist, giving him meat shield, and also loyalty, so he's taking 10% of my damage, which makes you feel a little tankier. And he's already a tanky boy as it is, but his main use is dropping the fire on the ground, which buffs my nados. Alright, my skill tree, oh gosh. This has been, I don't know, I'm still working on this. I'm only level, what, 70, 72, 73. Still a lot ways to go, and I also want to test out some things with evasion from a couple different things. But I went down this way to get some evasion, and then I'm just picking up like projectile damage, projectile speed, like all these trees. If you look down here, they just stuff to do with projectiles that aren't very far off the main path. Versatile arms. Let's see, I went left a little bit because I started to add crit into the build. This whole spear section is really good. Now, if you noticed, as far as my gear go, I'm not using a shield. That's because you want to use a shield until you get far enough, and if you get to this point, you can choose to get more skill speed if you don't have an offhand equip, which I'm choosing to do that, and it feels really nice, so I would recommend doing it. We got some accuracy and attack speed, movement speed, skill speed, and then I went this way for more crit. Based off, I went this way for more crit, and then right now I'm currently at this crit. I want to test with this evasion node, 100% increase evasion rating from equipped body armor, and stack it with this one, evasion rating from helmet and gloves. Helmet, gloves, and boots are doubled, and evasion rating from body armor is half, so you just don't put evasion in your body armor basically and put it in all the other ones. On your Ascendancy tree, I mean, you can do whatever Ascendancy you want. I chose Amazon. And at first you probably want to do the middle tree, but now that I'm starting to get crit, I'm doing the bottom tree. So this is gonna give me more crit chance and more accuracy. But you probably want to go down the middle tree at first because it's gonna give you more skill speed and just make the yellow bars easier to kill. My gear, I am totally still working on this. Not very good right now, but looking for physical damage, accuracy, and crit pretty much. And then you get enough spirit in the game to be using your summon basically, so you don't really have to worry about spirit too much. Early game you might need some. But yeah, that's my current build I got going on. It is quite strong. It does a lot of damage to bosses too, especially if the arenas are small. If you have a map that's very open, that's the only time this build struggles a bit. But besides that, yeah, this build's like super OP. Hopefully your computer can handle it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I also stream. I stream this game like 12 hours a day. It's weird hours because I'm in Vietnam, so. But if you subscribe, you can see when I'm streaming, and you can come on by and say hello and see what shenanigans I'm up to, because I also want to try a bleed build out. Yeah, I'll probably do that on a different character though. I'm still like really early. I just got to end game not too long ago, so still got a long way to go on this character. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace.